Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, team and fans from around the world, we have a lot of traders who are here live from the California area. So thank you if you are tuning in from California or wherever you are in the world. I appreciate you being here. My mission is to enrich lives. My name is Jerremy Newsome, and I hope this is a really great presentation. It makes you think, it makes you smile, it makes you happy, or at least makes you motivated. Entitled Short-Term Trading Psychology. This is going to be one of those presentations that gives you a lot of things to think about, and I'm happy to analyze charts or let you know how all of this impacts your individual trading. But I think that we can all agree that the mental game and the mindset space of trading is extremely important. I did retire at the age of 24. I put in quotes because I still probably work like 85 hours a week. I just do what I really like doing. I can do it anywhere in the world, from any beach, any condo, any location. And I do work very hard. I love enjoying spending time in the markets and helping individuals and companies and hedge funds and anyone who's interested to learn more about this. So I've been professionally involved in the market for 7 years. My favorite movie is Forrest Gump. That's actually what got me interested in trading. Type a 3 into the chat pane if you guys have ever watched the movie Forrest Gump. I'm expecting a lot of 3s. Tons of people love the movie Forrest Gump. I mean, it's amazing because at the end, Mary, you might remember where Forrest Gump is going to the mailbox and he said Lieutenant Dan invested in a fruit company and they didn't have to worry about money anymore. And then he shows all the cool things that he did with the money, right? He built a church, built a school, built a hospital. And I remember watching that at the age of 6. And I was like, man, I would love to not worry about money anymore. So I asked my dad, what is investing? What's the fruit company? He told me about Apple computers. I begged him to buy some shares. He didn't because we were very, very, very poor at the time. So I went and picked blackberries off of a bush and sold them door to door in the summer of 1994. Sounds like a Bryan Adams song. And made $1,500 selling blackberries. And we used that money to buy shares of Apple in 1994. And so that's how I got interested and involved in the stock market, was from the movie Forrest Gump. So that's why it's my favorite film. And both David and Anka reached out to me a few weeks ago and asked me to do this presentation for all of you guys here. So this is how I prepared for this presentation. I went to my trading community and I was like, hey guys, question. Let's hypothetically say I was creating a presentation called Short-Term Trading Psychology. What would be some things that you want me to cover, discuss, or elaborate on? And here's the things that kind of popped up. The following things I've had to work on following through: the fear of losing money, FOMO, your plan was working, but now it hasn't for the X number of trades, and then pulling the trigger on a trade. So for me personally, man, this is the one that I struggle with the most. This is probably number 2. This one, maybe every now and then, but never this one. I've never had an issue pulling a trigger. I'm not saying that's a good thing, by the way. It's definitely been a bad thing. It has absolutely been a bad thing before, but that's just not me. Some people, yes, have that struggle. I'm just kind of being vulnerable. That's not one of my challenges. But what I can do is I can at least help you get an idea of how to overcome the fear of losing money and how to overcome FOMO. Type a 2 into the chat pane if you're interested in hearing my strategy for those. All right, sweet. There's some 2s in the chat pane. Awesome. Well, thank you, Mandeep, and thank you, Mary Jo, for your kind participation. Abdul, appreciate you being here as well. You are the man. So here's a way that I like to combat the fear of losing money. I like to combat the fear of losing money by creating some extreme certainty in both my life and in my trading. So when I say certainty, I want to know how much money I am going to lose on a trade exactly. And when I started practicing and using this formula, it helped me incredible with my trading. And this has revolutionized so many people's tradings that I've worked with, because it helps them come up with an exact plan. It really helps bring certainty and clarity into your life. I've attended many, many presentations and webinars and online courses and in-person courses, in-person seminars. And very frequently the question comes up, how do you protect your risk? How do you protect your capital? How many shares do you buy? How do you know when to get in? How do you know when to get out? Well, this is the answer to that question for me. is you come up with a percentage of your portfolio that you determine. Generally, it's no more than 2%. And you divide by the difference of your entry, the difference of your stop, and that gives you the number of shares to take on a trade. So let's just do a really quick example, okay? So a quick example of this would be if you have, let's say, a $30,000 account, okay? And you want to risk 1% of your account. How much is that? Who can do that math for me? It's actually pretty easy math. Back to second grade. Shouldn't be too bad. I know Michael J's fiercely throwing this one into the calculator. 1% of 30,000. What we got? All right, $300. That is the answer. So that is not the amount of investment, right, Mary? That's the amount that you're going to lose on a trade if you are wrong. So again, not your investment, that's how much money you're going to lose. So let's continue this journey. Let's say that you're going to do a trade, right? Emmanuel, you're doing a trade and the stock that you're going to buy is at $98.78. And your stop loss on that particular trade is, let's say, for example, $95.78. Okay. So this is your stop loss and this is your entry. Okay, maybe this is whatever stock, doesn't really matter. It could be a day trade, it could be a swing trade, it could be anything. So 98.78 and 95.78. What's the difference of those two numbers? I made the numbers really simple so we could all probably do this in our head. What's the difference between these two numbers? So again, this is your entry, bloop, right there. This is your stop loss right there. All right, so we have 300, which is 1% of our $30,000 portfolio, divided by the difference between our entry and our stop loss. 98.50, 98.78, 95.78 is 3 points. Okay. So what's 300 divided by 3? You guys be proud of me. I'm doing this math in my head on my trackpad with my left hand. I'm not even left-handed. All right. 100 shares. That is exactly correct. So how much of an investment would that be on a $98 company? So that's actually $9,800. That's how much money, cash, would come out of your account. Okay, so that's how much investment outflow would come from your $30,000 account. But isn't it crazy cool to know that your risk would only be $300? So this really does help in your fear of losing money because it gives you certainty. Before you take any trade, you'll know exactly how much money you're going to lose if you're wrong. And here's what's amazing about this system and about the strategy that I implement every time I teach this presentation anywhere in the world is you can lose more money than you can lose more often than you win and still make money, right? You just have to lose less because if $300 is your max loss, what do you guys think? True or false? You can lose less than that. And obviously the answer is true, right? So $300, that's your maximum loss on a trade. So if it doesn't begin to work, you're going to lose $300 max. On average, my risk that I trade, I lose about 0.7 of my maximum risk. Right, I lose about 0.7. So I don't know the math of that. Let's find that on $300. So $300 times 0.7 equals 210. So in this example, with a $300 risk unit, I would lose on average $210. Now, my win-loss ratio, so that you guys know, is about 47.8%. All right, 47.8%. That's my win-loss ratio. So out of about, let's say, 50 trades a month, I win on 22 of them, and I lose on, what's the difference of those two numbers? I lose on 28. So I lose on 28, I win on 22. Now here's where the math gets really cool. All right, so Silver, KT, Emmanuel, you guys tracking with me? So if I lose 28 trades out of 50, but I lose on average 0.7 of my risk, then I end up losing in total 19.6 units a month. Now, here's what's really cool. What is my average win? And I'd love to tell you that some like crazy, cool, amazing high number, like Anka, I mean, she's amazing. She's an incredible trader. I'm not even close to being as good as she is. But I can say this, I do win more than I lose. So my average win is about 1.36. My average win's 1.36. 1.36 times 300. All right. Now, this is an example. I don't use a $300 risk. I use a $2,000 risk when I trade. But 1.36 times 300 is about 408 bucks. So you guys can probably see where this is going. But if you take $408, right, 22 trades, so 1.36 times 22, here's that math. 22 times 1.36 equates to, guys, ready for this one? 29.92. Now, again, this is all second grade math. So if you get confused, we're recording it, so it's okay. But the difference of these two numbers is staggering, my friends, right? I'm winning 47%. I lose on 28 out of 50 trades a month. And this is how I normally win. 1.36, and I lose 0.7 on every trade on average. I walk away with a net of 10 a month. 10 risk units in my pocket. So what 10 risk units would be $3,000 if you're trading with a $300 risk. Again, I trade with about a $2,000 risk. So it's about $20,000 a month approximately. Now, both of those numbers are very obtainable and both of those numbers are very real. But I did start with 300, right? It wasn't always 2,000. It took me a while to get up to 2,000. And next year it'll probably be 4,000. And the next year after that, it'll probably be 6,000. So it's going to build over time, but it took me a while to get there. Long story short, this system, this math helps me overcome the fear of losing money. Type in a 7 if that was helpful, if that was knowledgeable, if that was assisting to you, if that was worth the price of admission alone, even though theoretically you didn't pay anything, because my boy David and Anka are amazing. Awesome. So Manuel, I'm glad that that was electrifying your brain. Now, that is a great way to help you overcome the fear of losing money. Certainty is one of the most basic human needs. Find out amount of money that is comfortable to you and practice it. Become fluid with that number and become totally aware that if you lose it, it is an amount that you determined ahead of time. Now, the fear of missing out. This one I can go very, very deep on. The fear of missing out. I do have a program. Again, it is entirely free. If you go to my website, reallifetrading.com, and you can click on the courses here and you can scroll down. I have a lot of free classes about beginner trading, intermediate trading. I cover this information a lot in some of my advanced classes. But the fear of missing out, this is a psychology thing. This is a mindset. This is a piece of information that is all about the mind. So all I can say is remind yourself of this statement. You're literally missing out on billions of dollars every minute. If you remind yourself of that statement often, you probably won't stress out too hard about taking trades and losing small on them. It most likely won't be something that stresses you out too hard. So just keep that in mind. That is a fear of missing out that will eventually subside. That fear of losing, the fear of not getting into a trade. Remind yourself, have an abundance mindset. There's plenty out there. Just because you can't have some right now, you can get some tomorrow. One of my favorite quotes, you don't have to make money every day to make money every month. Okay. So here's another one. My plan hasn't worked for the last X number of trades. So this one's an interesting one. One that I can say, review if anything has changed in your life, right? Do you have something that's going on, something that's stressing you out, something that you haven't experienced before? What in your life is different? And let's see if that has any bearing or any change on the way you're trading. Also, have you done anything different, right? Are you really doing the exact same thing? Are you really following your exact same plan? Is it something that you're doing over and over and over again? Or are you actually making adjustments and you're just not aware of it? And if all of those things are true, if all those things are accurate, then repeat this to yourself. Everything works, just not all the time. Every strategy, every setup, every stock, every time frame, every ticker, every company, all of it works, just not all the time. So pulling the trigger, again, this is not one of my challenges, but some people it is. What I would say with pulling the trigger is create a minimum amount of trades that you must take each month. Make that one of your rules. So for example, if you're going to create a minimum amount of trades that you must take each month, How about you say, I have to take at least 20 trades a month. I have to. And you can trade a really, really small amount of money so it doesn't scare you. This is one of my challenges for some of my engineers. I have a coaching student who's actually a legit rocket propulsion scientist, AKA a rocket scientist. And he cannot be wrong at all in his line of work. So he has a problem of getting, he has a fear of getting stopped out. He has a fear of being wrong. He has a fear of losing money because he doesn't have the capacity or the ability to be wrong in his job at all. Lives are on the line. So in that regard, I say to him, hey man, start with a small amount of money and just practice. Practice being wrong. Embrace the fact that it's okay to lose. Embrace the fact that the best winners in life, the people who've made the most money in their profession and their career, they are great losers. Tom Brady has lost more Super Bowls than most teams have even made it to. Michael Jordan has lost more playoff games than almost any player in history has ever made it to. Keep that in mind, right? It is all about repetition. Now, this is a great one. Mark asked the question. He says, how to remain resolute when that short-term trade turns against us. Ways we can detach our emotions to trade only what is shown in the chart. And obviously, this is one of those things where it's really, really easy to say. And of course, it takes time and a lot of practice. But here's what you can do. It's important in situations like this to have rules based on some prior metrics that turn you into a robot. For example, I can't move my stop for 7 trading days once I'm in a trade. After 7 days, I'm profitable by 1.2 risk units, then increase the stop to lock in money and wait another 7 days. This allows you to create a robotic sense of trading. This allows you to have a rule-based system, a plan-based system that not only you can track, that if I am your coach, I can also track. It allows everyone to kind of really analyze immediately, again, are you following your plan? Are you following your rules or not? This is a really, really incredibly specific and massively important aspect of trading is having that trading plan. You'll hear very frequently, and I would probably bet in almost every webinar that you've ever attended, you've heard the term trade your plan, follow your plan, build a trading plan, but very few people ever show you what a trading plan looks like. Well, I'm going to be doing that in this one, in this particular account. So all good, but let's keep forward. Let's keep going forward. Here's another really, really good one. Another gentleman, Jay, was saying, I totally agree with Joe. In addition, how do you hold a winning trade to maximize profit? And then again, how do you stick to your original plan? That's a big one, right? How to maximize your trading profit. Ready for this one? Here are some answers that I have experienced and that were really helpful for me. Again, have a rule-based system for this. If the trade is up more than one risk unit in X period of time, then hold for another, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 hours, 3 minutes, something. Then describe exactly what you want the trade to do ahead of time. So actually write it down. If you're in a position, this will help you hold that position. Creating ahead of time a predetermined plan of what you want it to do so that if it actually does it, if it begins doing it, then we are good to go, right? So come up with that time frame. Remember this bullet point right here. This is a massive, massive bullet. Don't be there to watch the trade, especially if it's a swing trade. This has happened to me. So type in a 9. I'm gonna go ahead and type in a 9 to the chat pane. Type in a 9 if you overanalyze the trade, you watch it too much, you get afraid, you get out, and then it just runs. And you got out for like the smallest of gains ever. It's happened to me, I mean, so many times. This has helped me reduce that error. Don't be there. Just get into the trade and let it do its thing. Before placing the trade, have written down how long you plan on holding it. This one is magnificent. Huge advice, really, really beneficial. So before even getting into the trade, KT, make sure that you have written down, I want to be in this trade for at least a month or for at least a week or whatever the time frame is. Write it down before getting into the trade, because again, the most important aspect of trading profitably is to follow a plan. Have some rules, be disciplined. I'll give you a tip. Disciplined people make a lot of money in life. You have to be disciplined to be a successful trader or to be successful at anything. If you're a chef and you drink on the job and you are massively undisciplined, you don't show up on time to work, you make menus on the spot without giving customers a heads up, you probably won't be in business very long. You have to have discipline. You have to follow the rules ahead of time. Another one, short-term trades, but should not be impulsive. I agree. So again, how do you cut down on being impulsive? Well, have a rule. Again, write it down. You'll hear me say this a lot. Write down the exact thing for what you're going to do. Here's a really, really good rule that helps me when I day trade. I have to wait for the next 5-minute or 3-minute or 2-minute candle to close before I can take any day trade. Meaning, if you pull up a day trade and you see a trade and you're like, oh, I want to get in. Okay, well, it's very easy, Tim, to have a rule, right, Samantha, to have a rule that says, I can't get into any day trade until this time frame candle closes. Once that candle closes, then I can get into the trade. That's a huge piece of advice. Extremely, extremely beneficial. Have some rules written down about impulsivity. This is the one that is the hardest for me. I had to come up with some very, very strict rules to quench my trading thirst, because truly, guys, I love to trade. So I have no problem taking 500 trades a day. It's easy, but I don't allow myself. So I have to cut down on being impulsive. This one was a funny one. Sochi says, how to tame the brain gremlins that come out at the sound of the opening bell and overtake my logical brain. Type in a 7 if you also battle the brain gremlins. Because yeah, it's a real thing, man. Like as soon as that market bell goes off, like the gremlins just come out. So guys, here's how you kill gremlins, okay? Electricity. Fry those little guys. They don't like fire, burn them. Bright light also kills gremlins. This is from the movie 1984, Gremlins. A little bit of a joke, obviously, but here's the point. Overthinking, overanalyzing, right? Doing the opening bell, this will burn you. I have so many people, a lot of traders will come out to me and go, Newsome, bro, I bet you have to wake up at 4 a.m. and do all of your analysis and get everything ready to go. And guys, I don't know about you. Maybe you're different than me. I don't like waking up at 4 a.m. Not my speed. I'm more of a like set my alarm for 7, maybe wake up at 6:30, relax, stretch out a little bit, roll around in bed, and then get out of bed at like 7:15. I don't 4 a.m. No, not really. Not my thing. Now, the market in Nashville, Tennessee opens at 8:30. Do you guys think if I can get up at 7, that allows me plenty of time to do my normal morning stuff and still have plenty of prep time for the trading? The answer is yes. Don't overanalyze. Don't overthink about it. It shouldn't take you that long. The whole phrase buy low, sell high is true. Buy low, sell high. Don't stress out. Don't panic. Don't freak out. Don't be a weirdo. Come up with your plan ahead of time. This is what I do. This is what I follow. This is how I'm going to do it. And then just go do it. And then, ready for this one, the one that nobody wants to do, walk away from your computer for a certain amount of time. Usually for a day trade, it's about an hour. It's really good advice. Doesn't matter if you win or lose, but teach your brain, train your brain that you are in control and that the computer and that the market are not in control, that you can do what you want to do on your own time without the market controlling you. If you really, really want to do this next level, if you're just like an absolute overachiever, record yourself trading in both video and audio format and watch it back to yourself. Listen to your voice, watch what you do, watch your mannerisms, watch your body movement. See if you freak out, see if you're calm, see if you hunch your shoulders, see if you are really excited about the market. My friends, I want you all to make a lot of money. You can make so much money in the stock market. You really, really can. It's extremely achievable because money is going to amplify who you are. And you are all good people. You want to give to your communities, your churches, your family. You want to spoil your kids, your grandkids. You want to have a wonderful life filled with opportunities, filled with real estate, with stocks, with charities, with donations, with charitable trusts, with businesses, with gold, with silver, with cryptocurrencies. You want to own assets. Assets require money. So make a lot of money. It is possible. I want you all to be extremely rich because it's going to bring out the best person in you, the person that's residing in you that needs to be unbounded, and money can help you do that. So these are some tips that can absolutely help you become better at trading. So again, the pre-market prep that prepares you mentally, it's not extremely hard. My opinion, give yourself some time, but not too much time. I think 30 minutes is plenty. And then get in a routine where you do the exact same thing at the exact same time every day, right? Just get into a routine. I have a really, really good course on day trading. Guess how much it costs? Nothing. It doesn't cost anything. So you can go to my website, reallifetrading.com, and you can click on where it says day trading techniques. It's an entirely free course. And I give really, really good tips and tricks on how you can do pre-market preps and how you can come up with a day trading strategy and a day trading plan that's very, very simple, that doesn't require hundreds of hours of massive hard work a month. I mean, I retired to work at this because I want to. When I said at the beginning that I work 85 hours a week, it's not trading. I probably actively trade maybe 20 hours a week. Maybe. The rest of the time, it's preparing for presentations, it's answering people's emails, it's doing phone calls, it's doing ebooks, it's doing blogs, articles, it's training for races. I run ultra marathons, so I like doing that a lot. I just finished a 41.2-mile race on Saturday. I like spending time with my family. I got an 11-year-old and a newborn on the way. So I want to carve out time to do amazing things with incredible people. And that's how you do it. It's about creating a really, really cool routine. Now, this is a fun one. Again, it's easy to forget all of this information, right? But virtually the logical brain gets overridden by the emotional brain. That's extremely accurate, totally spot on. So remember, focus on gaining skill rather than money. The money will come, trust the process. If you listen to professionals who've been doing this forever and you're like, man, I'd love to make $100,000 in a month. That would just change my life. Yeah, it changed my life too. I mean, you can make $100,000 a month. It's not hard, but I can tell you this, it's also very easy to lose it if you don't know what you're doing. So this is a long-term game. It's a long-term skill set that you have to build. This is like any other skill set. If you're going to become a dentist, you can't go to dentistry school and start working on people's mouths after, a month and a half of practice. It takes years, guys. And here's the thing though, success, trading, making money, it's simple but difficult. Simple but difficult, like walking 1,000 miles. I don't know if anyone here has ever walked 1,000 miles before. At least at one time. I've never done that at once. That would seems like a really cool goal. Maybe I should try to do that one day. But 1,000 miles would take, days and days and days. It's like 7-8 days to walk at once without stopping. That'd be very, 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 very challenging. But if you spread it out over time, it can be done. It's going to be hard regardless. It's difficult, but it's simple. So for the first 2 or 3 years, don't stress yourself out about making money. Focus on the process, develop a routine. Don't quit your day job yet. Build up your cash reserves, pay off debt, and become fit, a financially independent trader. So again, if you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat pane. But what I will do with you is I will share with you guys a real trading plan right now that you can absolutely use, borrow, steal, screenshot, I don't care. Take down these rules. These are good rules. These rules can and will help you in your active day trading. But I'll give you a tip. You still have to follow whatever rules are out there in the world for it to work. So, for example, if there's a rule that says don't rob a bank, and you're like, well, I want to rob a bank anyway. So you go and rob a bank, which again, you probably shouldn't do. If you do that, you will go to jail, and you'll be in jail for a very long time because you broke a rule, AKA write rules down and don't break them. So this is a really good plan that you are welcome to use. 2-hour loss max per day, no trades before 9:33 a.m. Pull up your company on a 30-minute chart. If it's below the 50 EMA, be bearish. If it's above it, be bullish. Plan for the gap down or a gap above the previous high of the day. So plan for that. That's what you should be looking for. That's what you should be waiting for. Number 3, wait for a high wave candle and take in the direction of a trend. Great, great candle. I love when those work. It works extremely well. In fact, I'll show you guys a day trade that we did today on a high wave candle. So this was, oops, sorry, wrong one. I did it twice. Nice. So let me pull up. I'll show you the day trade that we took today on Lyft. We did Lyft short. So LYFT. So here was Lyft short. And this is the exact drawings. I haven't updated or changed anything. And I got out seemingly way too early. But here was the high wave candle that I initially set my trade up on. So I'll just hide everything for just a second, just so you can see the candles. But look at that beautiful, beautiful, massive bearish candle, right? Huge bearish candle, really, really strong bullish high wave candle. So my question to you would simply be, how do you think the buyers of that candle are going to feel if the stock breaks below that candle? I think they're going to feel. What do you guys think? They're probably going to be pretty sad. Yeah, they're probably going to be losing money. They're most likely going to be selling. They are most likely going to be terrified. So if they're selling, right, the market might sell off with them a little bit. So here's what the next candle came in on Lyft, right? Did not quite trigger me, but there is another really nice high wave candle. Very, very pretty candle. Again, did not get triggered in. Here's the actual chart. So I'll kind of show you guys the progression. Big bullish candle with an upper shadow, bear candle came in, and then that's where I got in right there below that bear candle. And that was the very first candle that came in. Beautiful setup, really, really pretty move. Chart was gorgeous. And when we were in the class, we had to play this song. Cause the stock is free. This is an awesome trade. Thank you. Yeah, it was super cool trade. That's one of the perks of living in Nashville. One of the perks of living in Nashville is you can be an award-winning artist at any time. I have many of those, by the way. Way too many. Far too many. I probably shouldn't even talk about how many of those random mastered remix stocks. Anyway, so that was a really great trade. And it was all because I kind of followed the plan, right? It was below the 50 moving average. It was looking like it was a short trade. I followed the trade, right? It wasn't in the first 3 minutes of the market. All right. So it would have been in the first 6 minutes of the market if that triggered. It didn't. So anyway, long story short, that was the trade setup. That followed the rules. I held into the trade. Once I was in the trade, right, I did not move the stop for 20 minutes. That's rule number 7. Don't move the stop for 20 minutes. If plan to exit all at 2R, if it hasn't hit that in 2 hours, exit if profitable or move the target farther. Take a max of 50 trades per month, because if you can't make money on 50 trades, you can't make money on 500 trades. And then once you set up a trade, don't change it for 12 minutes. Really, really good good rule. And remember, talking about robbing the bank, right? If you rob a bank, bad things happen. Well, there needs to be some kind of pain. If you write down all of these rules and you just break them anyway, it's generally not a good thing. So you want to have some type of random pain associated with, well, breaking your rules. You don't want to do that. You shouldn't break your rules. It's not a good habit to get in. So anyway, my thoughts, my trading plan helps me a lot. It's really a basic one, right? It's not extremely detailed. You can easily add to that. But my dear friends who are here, thank you so much for your amazing contributions, your energy. I've massively appreciated it. What questions do you guys have for me? Any question that you have at all, I will answer it truthfully and honestly. And if you guys want to look at charts, we can also look at charts. I can do anything that you guys want. I am here for you for a few more minutes. Brad says, can you post page one of the plan? Dude, of course. There you go, brother. There it is. Super helpful. Yeah, broski. What else we got? KT says you're bad, Jeremy. I got too many of these, those music. All right. PE Corbell says the song helps to express the overflow of emotion from good trading, other techniques to manage this overflow. Oh man. Phenomenal question. I mean, for me, this is just one of the things I do. I love giving money away to charity. So that's one of the things I like to do is find a profit, find a foundation, find an organization. It makes me feel good to give money away to nonprofits or to charities or just organizations I believe in. So I do spend a lot of time and money contributing. That just kind of raises my elevation and makes me a little bit happy. So that's kind of one of the things that I do to help manage that overflow. Yeah. Mark says, why wait 3 minutes before taking a trade? Great question, man. Generally, the very first 3 minutes are extremely volatile on most stocks. Wicks and crazy movement all over the place. Plus, if you can give 3 minutes, you can get kind of like an opening range breakout. You can kind of get a general idea of what the stock's going to do in that first 3 minutes, right? It's either going to really hold its gap or it's going to start selling off, and you can kind of get a general idea of how it works. And also, man, it's just a rule that you can use to see if you can follow it. Honestly, most people really just as soon as the bell starts to trade, they get into a trade. So it's good for me to have some type of rule. I can determine if people are really following their plan or not. Yeah. So that's a great question. Solid question. My boy Richard says, I don't understand the how long I'm going to hold it idea. Isn't it more about stock ETF acts versus how long you're going to hold it? Not necessarily, man. Because you want to have some type of idea before you get into a trade of what you're going to do. Otherwise, you won't know where you're going. Right. So an example would be that helps you hold a winning trade. Here's an example. Let's go look at Wix. This was a trade that I got into earlier this year, and I'll pack back over to Wix. So Wix was bouncing off its long-term moving averages. Just give me about 3 seconds just to kind of like set the scene here. So Wix is bouncing off its long-term moving averages. My website is built off of Wix. I bought Wix on this day right here. It was trading down to the 200 simple. It was trading down to a support. I use Wix. I like Wix. I know how Wix works. I bought it. So my plan was twofold, Richard. Twofold. Number one is I'm going to buy it here and I'm going to hold it until it goes higher because I use Wix. I know exactly how they work. I like it. I own a Wix website. I own a few websites, and well, I use Wix. So I'm going to be in this trade. Number two, I'm going to hold until 300. Okay. So come hell or high water, I'm going to be in this trade until it gets to 300. That was it. And so it helped me hold through a few days of sideways, compression, bouncing down, right? It went a little bit lower right here. So it kept me in the trade because I said to myself, for a multitude of reasons, I came up with a predetermined plan of how long I wanted to hold that trade. So it helped when it was trading sideways for realistically a month. And then when this happened, did I sell early? And the answer is no. I mean, I could have. I thought about it. I wanted to. But then I looked down at my Post-it note on my computer and it said, hey, bro, you have to be in on Wix until it hits 300. So I didn't sell, didn't sell, I didn't sell, I didn't sell, didn't sell, didn't sell. That was the big one. That's when a lot of people would have it hit 297.20. So I didn't sell. And so then my thought was, okay, I can now see that the stock is doing what I wanted it to do. I now moved my stop loss from 230. I moved it up to 240. So at this point, I could only lose very, very, very small amounts of money. And now I increased my target to 315. So I increased my target. Very next day was earnings. And then bam, hit my target. Huge win. Made about $40,000 on that trade. Yeah, it was a really good trade. But again, it helped you hold because I had a plan of what I wanted to do. Otherwise, I would have probably sold somewhere over here for, not as much of a win if I just hadn't got a general idea of what I wanted to do. Mark Bibbs says, why never trade pre-market? Honestly, man, just because liquidity is really strange pre-market. You probably won't get filled exactly at the price that you want. It can be kind of hard to get in. It can be kind of hard to get out. I'm not saying it's a terrible idea. I would just simply say reserve it for 3 or 4 years down the road. If you're already a profitable trader, Mark, and you're crushing it and you're making tons of money, you just want to amplify a little bit of your gains, you can start trading pre-market. But until then, until you're just printing paper and lighting it on fire because you have so much money, then yeah, man, you don't want to really do that. KT says, tell us about losing trades. Bro, I have a 1.5 million losing trades. Let's talk about one on silver. So silver, right? This was my plan on silver. I got in 1, 2, 3 right here. So this was the trade that I got into. It had bear candle, bear candle, bear candle, bear candle. Thought this was a flag pattern. Boom. Thought this was the breakout. So I got into the trade on silver bullish, and my initial stop loss was right here. So my initial stop loss was right there. I wanted to hold this trade into 28, or I got stopped out, right? Whichever happened. Candle came in, really good volume. That looked good. This candle came in. That looked good. This candle came in. I was like, well, man, I don't know. We're trading sideways forever. That candle came in. I like the fact that it was a little bit of a higher high, and then this candle came in. I was like, oh, man, that's awesome. Great trade. This should be a winner. I was counting my chickens. No chickens were hatching yet, but I was already counting them. It was at $28. That was my target. That's why I wanted to get out on the trade. But what I did is I followed my plan of moving my stop loss. I was in the trade for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So I moved my stop loss right there, moved it up so that way, if I lost on the trade, I would only lose 0.6 R's, 0.6 risk units, right? Again, that's about my average loss, and then got stopped out right there. Exit the trade, took the L, definitely lost on the trade. But again, lost 0.6 risk units. So my general risk on a trade is $2,000. 0.5 R's, 0.5 risk units is $1,000. So 0.6, this was about $1,200 of risk that I lost on that particular trade. Yep. Silver says, powerful presentation. Are you on YouTube? Thank you for asking. I am on YouTube. Yep. You can go to YouTube and you can type in either Jerremy Newsome. That'll get you a bunch of videos, all kinds of videos there. Or you can type in my company, Real Life Trading. We have 1,600 videos. They're all really good, I think. We have tons and tons of playlists. So it's really cool. I think you'll like it. Brad says, I use Vantage Point software. Do you have a plan to utilize that program? I read a review that you did in the past. Yeah, man. All charting softwares work. I don't think charting softwares help you make money. You still have to pull the trigger and you still have to use it. If you want me to help you come up with a plan to use Vantage Point, man, feel free to reach out to me anywhere you want. So yeah, dude, I mean, connect with me. I'm happy to help. Charting softwares are incredible, but they don't help you make money. Sorry, let me rephrase. They can help you make money, but you still have to press the buttons. You still have to get into the trade. You have to do all the work, all that good stuff. KT says the R is backwards. Yeah, bro. I'm pretty good at this stuff. If you'll notice, there's a candle in the middle. Yeah. So it's backwards on purpose. Helps with branding. What's up? It's called negative space. Yep. KT says, are you a millionaire yet? Yes. I was a millionaire when I was 30. I'm now a multi-millionaire. I'm worth about $8.3 million. KT says, sister. All right. My sister. I like it. Even better. Even better. Awesome. We don't we far too few females in this industry. So KT, I'm so glad that you're doing this. We actually did host a entire celebration of women in finance playlist. About 45% of my team are females because females are better than guys at everything, but also better traders. So I'll put that in here in the chat pane, and that is, yeah, that's a really good playlist. I think you'll like it. Mark says 8.3, all from trading. Heavens, no. No, dude. I think out of that, probably 3 and some change from trading. You should never have just one stream of income, man. I think you should take your money and do all kinds of good things with it. You know, buy real estate, buy businesses, buy cryptocurrencies, buy gold, buy silver. I became a crypto millionaire before I became a US dollar millionaire, but that's okay. It works either way. It worked out really well now. But yeah, man, I mean, a lot of it from trading, a lot of it from cryptos. I got into cryptos early. I happened to stumble down a fun rabbit hole about 4.5 years ago, and, got into some really heavy positions on some really good crypto positions. So Mark says, I retired from practicing law last year after 25 years to invest and trade. I love it, brother. That's awesome, man. That's killer. One of my really good friends and business coaches, his name is Sean Callaghy. I don't know if you know him, but he's a really esteemed lawyer up in New Jersey. I think I don't know if he's a criminal defense attorney. I have no idea what attorney he is. I probably should find out. But anyway, his name is Sean Callaghy Law Firm. Long story short, irrelevant. I love working with and helping out anyone, man. So guys, honestly, feel free to pop over to my website. It's entirely free. I have tons of free courses. Yes, I have courses that do cost money, but I donate most of the money that I make on pretty much everything. So yeah, feel free. This is a really, really cool one. This is called the Back Trading Marathon. I think that's one of the most fun programs I've ever done. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Again, I'm happy to answer anything at any time. I'm an open book. I'm not going to hold back at all. David, how am I doing on time, brother, man?
You have about 8 minutes.
Oh, sweet. Guys, I got 8 more minutes. Man, throw some tough ones my way. Give me something challenging. I love it. Mark says, how do we contact you? Oh, dude, just call me or text me, man. Here's my cell phone number, 352-246-4596. You can also email me, Jerremy@reallifetrading.com. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I'm everywhere. But yeah, man, you can call me. You can text me. This is my actual cell phone number. It does work. It's right next to me. And this is my email address. Jennifer says, please review the prep time you do for day trades. Absolutely. In fact, I can prep for you right now, Jennifer, on day trades. The market's about to close. So true story, I can do one right now. Pick a stock for me and I'll give exactly how I will prep that stock for tomorrow. And if you do join my day trading room tomorrow, tomorrow's Thursday, you'll see me trade that exact, whatever stock you pick, I will show you exactly how I'll prep for it. Silver says, thank you, Jeremy. You are the one that was talking about investing in storage unit companies before the presentation. Are you any at this time? That was actually my boy, David. I do not personally own any storage facilities. I do own some real estate and I own some exotic land, but I don't have any self-storage. But David has some REITs, I believe he was saying. He's investing in the actual stock itself. So Jennifer, I'm just waiting for you to throw in whatever stock you want me to analyze. I will help you. Tesla, awesome. I love Tesla. I trade Tesla almost on a daily basis. All right, Jennifer, so you ready? This is exactly how I'm going to trade Tesla tomorrow. I'm serious. I trade Tesla all the time, all the time. So number one, the very, very first thing, this was rule number 3 in the plan, is I plan for an open above the high or below the low of the previous day. That helps me figure out if I'm going to trade it or not. All right. So if it does not open above the high or below the low, I'm much less aggressive on the trade. So I already know the high of Tesla today. The high of Tesla is 685, the low is 667. So tomorrow, if Tesla is opening above the high, I'm going to be buying it aggressively. And I'll show you how in just a second. If it gaps down, right, below the low, what we're going to notice, Jennifer, is there are how many bearish candles in a row on the daily chart? Yep. Answer is 3. 1, 2, 3. So we already have some people shorting Tesla. So if Tesla opens down below the low of today, tomorrow morning, are those bearish traders going to take a profit? Yes or no? And the answer is yes, they will, right? They're going to take and they're going to lock in their gains. So what that's going to do is cause the stock to trade back up. So it'll gap down and most likely trade higher into previous support. Old support most likely at that point in time will become a new resistance. So I have 2 plans. If it gaps down, I will short it on a pullback. And if it gaps up, I'll go aggressive. What I'm now going to do is zoom into a 15-minute chart and kind of show you my support and resistance that I will draw. So I'm going to turn on the pre-market. So this is the pre-market charts of Tesla. This green line is showing you the pre-market resistance from here and some of the support from here. So yes, if we gap down tomorrow right here and trade up into there, I will look to short. If we gap up tomorrow, I'll wait for it to make a new pre-market high, about 691, come back down to old resistance, new support, and then I will look to go long. What I will do is I will be zooming into the 3 to 5 minute charts and looking for candles or bounces off moving averages or some type of reversal signal. Or I could set this up now ahead of time if I really wanted to. And I do have trading robots and algorithms that I can build that allow me to trade ahead of time. Or you can just do really complex broker orders. So you could do like a stop limit. You could have a stop up here. You could have a limit down here. You could do all that ahead of time. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's gonna be my plan on Tesla tomorrow, realistically. And if it doesn't gap up at all, right? Let's say it opens flat. Let's say it opens right here. Then it's right in the middle of the channel, right? It's right in the middle of the channel. So if it trades down to this support, I'll buy it off of the support. And if it trades up to this resistance, I'll sell it at that resistance if it doesn't really open and gap at all. And that is how you can truly create a decent plan. I know that seems like a lot, but it really, really wasn't. I analyzed the daily chart. I looked at 2 or 3 candles. I went in and zoomed into the 15-minute chart. I drew some lines and that's it. That's all the analysis I have to do. So now I can wake up and I have my total day plan for Tesla tomorrow. Andrew says, do you trade crypto? And if so, what is it? I do trade crypto. Yep. I have mini Ethereum. And I actually just sold some at 33333. So I'm into Ethereum. I have holdings of Bitcoin. I have holdings of Stellar Lumen. I have holdings of Litecoin. And those are my 4 main holds right now. So I bought Litecoin off of this perfect hammer right here. So I got in at about 256. So I'm up about $100 US dollars per coin on Litecoin, which is exciting. So yes, and I do have a crypto course. I was kind of describing that earlier. So if you come over to my website, yeah, man, I do have a crypto program as well. Cool, team. Well, guys, thanks so much for being a part of this. That really opened up the discussion. I appreciate all of your enthusiasm and your energy and your questions. I would love for you guys all to connect with me. I sent you guys my cell phone, so feel free to text me or call me or message me and let me know how I can assist you or help you in any way possible. Team, thank you so much. You guys absolutely rock. High five all around. And until next time, love life, enjoy it. Bye.